Hello and welcome to Twisted Crimes. Today's story will be about some very horrifying crimes what were captured on CCTV. Viewers' discretion is advised. Molly McLaren was a beautiful 23-year-old university student from Kent, UK. Molly, who lived in Cobham and was a former student at North Kent College in Dartford, suffered slash and stab wounds to her chest, neck and throat in the hands of her ex-boyfriend Joshua Stimpson. Started speaking to Molly on the dating app Tinder, and they spoke for 3 months before she agreed to meet him in person. On June 29, 2017, Molly was at the gym when he noticed her ex-boyfriend. You can see on CCTV how he was moving from one location to another looking for her. However, she sent some text messages telling her friends in a haunting last WhatsApp, "I feel like I'm looking over my shoulder all the time." After texting her mum, who told her to leave right away, Molly felt very uncomfortable and decided to leave the gym, not knowing she was being stalked by her ex-boyfriend, who followed her to the car and stabbed her 75 times. Once it was clear Molly was dead, Stimpson, from Woodham, calmly walked away from her car, his white shirt soaked with her blood. When the police arrived minutes later, he said to them, "She is in the car, I killed her." The case was set for trial. He denied any recollection of what happened that day and was seeking a plea for manslaughter, which was denied. Stimpson was tried and found guilty, in which he was sentenced to 26 years to life imprisonment.
Was 23, beautiful and intelligent. Her life full of promise ended by Joshua Stimpson, the young man she met on a dating app, whose response to their relationship breaking up was to plan her brutal murder.
This was a narcissistic individual who was evil and should be locked up for a very long time, and I think 26 years does reflect that fact.
Didn't sleep much last night.
No, not that. These are just good workout apparently. I had muscles sore this morning. I didn't even know I had.
Really?
Which muscles?
Gee, that's a good thing you didn't get a full on.
This reminds me of like those late night infomercials. You used to sell those machines that shock your abs and stuff.
Oh.
It's like that one.
You had one? You bought one of them?
No, Kimberly did.
Oh.
But I tried it once.
Keyes was born on January 7, 1978 in Cove, Utah. Heidi and John Jeffrey Keyes, who did not believe in government intervention, public schools, or modern medicine, had 10 children, of which he is the second of 10. In July of 1998, Keyes joined the United States Army. As a soldier, he performed admirably in Egypt, in Fort Hood in Texas, and at Fort Lewis in Washington. After receiving an honorable discharge in July 2001, he resided with his daughter's mother on the Maka Reservation. On the morning of Thursday, February 1, 2012, at 5 minutes to 8, Keyes approached the kiosk where Samantha Koenig worked and stood at the huge, open window. He set down his empty thermos and requested an Americano from the barista. Now that he took a closer look, he noticed that she was young, petite, attractive, and alone. Samantha handed him the Americano and Keyes pulled out his gun. "Turn off the lights," Keyes said. Samantha moved to the back of the kiosk and switched off the lights, then returned to the window. She didn't scream. "Give me all the cash in the register," Keyes said. Samantha stiffly moved toward the right of the window, where the register sat hidden from customers. She emptied the drawer and handed the money over. He moved his headlamp over the countertop and spotted a set of keys. "Where's your car?" Keyes asked. I don't have one, Samantha said. But my dad's coming to get me in half an hour. I mean, he's going to be here any minute. Keyes had second thoughts. He couldn't tell which was the truth. Did you hit an alarm? Keyes asked. Don't lie to me. I have a police scanner in my ear. I'll know. No, she said. If I hear the police being dispatched here, he said, I'll kill you. I didn't, Samantha said. I swear. He said he asked her what her name was, then shut the windows, barred them, took some napkins and stuffed them in her mouth. Then he told her they were going for a walk. While leading Samantha through the parking lot, Keyes discovered a brand new Canon camera on the ground. It must be worth around $300. He stooped to retrieve it. Samantha, sensing his attention, fled the scene. Keyes swiftly recovered control of Samantha by placing his .22 into her ribcage. This firearm was compact, lightweight, and concealable, but most importantly, it was silent. Keyes drove to his residence and parked in his driveway. It was close to 2 a.m. when Keyes had the courage to remove Samantha from the truck and lead her to the shed in his property. He took a length of rope, wrapped it around her neck, and attached it to the wall on both sides by screwing it in place. Keyes obtained Samantha Koenig's mobile phone, ATM card, and PIN prior to her murder. Keyes posed a ransom demand with Koenig's dead body after having the opportunity to go on a trip. In the hope that Koenig was still alive, her relatives deposited funds into her bank account. Keyes withdrew monies using Koenig's ATM card in Alaska, and continued to do so when traveling in New Mexico, Arizona, and Texas. He concealed his identity, but a security camera in Arizona captured an image of his rental automobile. Texas law police was contacted and arrested Keyes in March 2012. The examination of Koenig's vehicle uncovered, among other damning materials, his driver's license. Keyes was arrested and ultimately returned to Alaska. When confronted with evidence linking him to the disappearance of Koenig, he admitted to the crime.
The sexual assault stuff, that type of stuff, I don't see, if that has to be part of the hearing, then we gotta figure out something different.
He informed police enforcement that he had been feeling out of control and remarked, "Back when I was clever, I would let them come to me.
Back when I was smart, I would let them come to me. Just remote area. Come go to a remote area that's not anywhere near where you live, but that other people go to as well."
Keyes raped and murdered her within hours, then mutilated and dumped her remains in a lake north of Anchorage weeks later. In April 2012, Koenig's remains were recovered. Keyes also confessed to the June 2011 murders of the Kayas in Essex, Vermont. Keyes committed suicide in his Anchorage jail cell on the night of December 1, 2012. In spite of instructions not to give Keyes a razor blade, he was given one. While laying in bed, he cut his wrist and strangled himself with a sheet, leaving behind a note and also a drawing of 12 skulls which the police believes are the actual number of his victims including him. The last confirmed sighting of Christina Morris is an innocent blip on a surveillance tape at the shops at Legacy. At 3:55 a.m., on the night of August 29, 2014, two figures walk through the camera's blurry sightline, a man in a black, long-sleeved shirt and dark pants, Enrique Aroki, and Christina. Her blonde hair and wide smile aren't visible. She's only recognizable by her skirt, the flash of her sandals underneath, and her sassy black hat. In 2014, on the Labor Day weekend, 23-year-old Christina Morris was out with friends in Plano, Texas, when she disappeared. Morris had grown up in the area but had moved away to Fort Worth to be with her boyfriend. Morris and a group of friends were drinking at an apartment at the shops at Legacy in Plano until approximately 4 a.m. She then left, accompanied by Aroki. Morris and Aroki were acquaintances who did not know each other very well but had attended the same high school. The pair were supposed to be heading home separately, with Aroki escorting Morris to her car. However, she was not seen alive again.
I just want to say that I'm innocent. I didn't do anything to Christina Morris.
Enrique Aroche spoke to Fox 4 about the search warrant affidavit that points out he made false statements to police.
It wasn't that I falsified anything, it's just I forgot where I parked my car. I'm a really distracted guy. I don't have a sense of direction.
What is your relationship with Christina Morris?
She was just an acquaintance from high school.
Never went out?
That was the first time that we ever went out ever since I met her back in high school.
What do you think about the actions of the family against you and your family?
I feel like they're very wrong. They're accusing me of something. They're pressuring me to say something I don't know. Personally, I just feel like I'm being threatened now. They've put my name out there so much that people are starting to see me as a monster when I'm really one of the nicest people you can ever meet.
Are you afraid for your life?
I am afraid for my life because of all the threats.
Enrique, do you have anything to do with Christina's disappearance?
No, I do not. I have nothing to do with her disappearance.
Did you harm her in any way?
No, I didn't. I wouldn't harm anything. Not even an animal, a fly, nothing.
Aroki later told detectives that the pair had separated in the garage and that he'd never seen her again.
Something's wrong, Enrique. This picture is in that garage. That picture is taken of you walking in that garage with Christina, and that's your car coming out of that same garage.
I guess I parked there. I went
To the other car.
However, police discovered Morris's DNA in the trunk of his car. Others at the party told investigators that Aroki had exhibited romantic feelings towards Morris but that they weren't reciprocated. At a point in time, the police thought it was the boyfriend who was behind it since they both had a heated argument via text messages while she was still at the party, but the boyfriend denied knowing anything about her disappearance.
I'm emotionally or mentally stable at all, barely enough to do this right now. I just want her to come home and be alive and say, if I would have been there, none of this would have happened. And this is why I can't do this. Yeah, I'm done.
Okay, that's fine.
Aroki was convicted of aggravated kidnapping and was sentenced to life in prison. Morris's body was finally discovered nearly 4 years after her murder in 2018 in a field in Anna, Texas, north of Dallas. Her skeletal remains were stumbled upon by an excavation crew.